Can a single photograph tell a story as rich and complex as a novel? No, really, it's a serious question. We live in a world absolutely overflowing with images. Billions are uploaded every single day. We scroll through these endless feeds of technically perfect, beautiful pictures. And then you see it. One image that just stops your thumb in its tracks. It's not just a picture. It's a moment so dense with meaning you can almost feel the air, hear the unsaid words, and guess what happened a second before and what might happen a second later. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, all right there inside one single frame. How do we take a picture that speaks like that? A picture that haunts or inspires, or makes you ask questions? That's the difference between a snapshot and a story. It's that frustrating gap between an image that looks good and one that feels meaningful. If you've ever had that, if you've ever looked at your own photos and thought, yeah, they're nice, but they just don't capture how it felt, then you're in exactly the right place. In this video, we're going to break down the elements that turn a simple snapshot into a powerful story. I'm going to give you a new way of seeing, a framework, so you can stop just documenting what's in front of you and start telling the stories that actually matter to you. Before we get into this photography chat, I wanted to let you know I'm building something special for photographers, something I'm not seeing anyone else talk about. It goes beyond gear or rules, but it taps into the very psychology of great photography. There's a link in the description. I'd love to have you along. Before we get into the how, we have to talk about the why. Why do some images burrow into our brains and stay there? It's because we're human, and we are absolutely wired for story. In fact, the idea behind this video was inspired by Lisa Cron's amazing book, aptly called Wired for Story. So to make this point in her words, story was crucial to our evolution, more so than opposable thumbs. Opposable thumbs let us hang on. Story told us what to hang on to. Stories are how humans make and have always made sense of the chaos, how we connect with each other, and how we figure out our own place in the world. And if we think about photography specifically, it's a universal language. It can cut across cultures, it can cut across time. It has the almost magical ability to freeze one fraction of a second and pack it with a narrative punch that just unfolds in the viewer's mind. I remember when I was starting out, I was completely obsessed with the technical stuff. I was chasing the sharpest focus, the most dramatic light, the perfect composition according to all the rules. And I'd come back from a trip, dump my photos onto my computer, and just see this collection of technically fine, but hollow images. They were postcards. They showed where I'd been, but not how I felt. They were pictures of something, but they weren't about anything. A big shift happened when I stopped trying to take perfect pictures and started trying to make meaningful stories. The goal changed from what does this look like to what does this feel like? And that's the fundamental leap every storyteller has to make, no matter the medium they use. It's about intention. It's about deciding what to say before you press the shutter. Suddenly, every choice, where you stand, what you include, how you use the light, becomes a word in your visual sentence. So how? How do we intentionally bake a story into a photo? Story can feel like this huge abstract idea, so let's break it down. Just like when we start out in photography, we learn about the exposure triangle, how ISO, shutter speed, and aperture work in harmony. Well, for storytelling in photography, I use a simple framework I call the narrative triangle. 3 core elements: the character, the conflict, and the context, that when they work together in a single frame, can build a powerful narrative. So let's dig into each one. Every story needs a hero. In photography, we usually call this the subject, but I like character better. It implies a role, a personality. Your character is the anchor of the image, the thing your viewer's eye is drawn to and connects with. It's who or what the story is happening to. Now, character doesn't have to be a person. It can be anything. It could be a lone, twisted tree. It could be a car caked in mud traversing the landscape. It can be an animal, a mountain, anything. Your job is to make the viewer care about this character. You're telling the audience, look here, this matters. So how do you do that? You give it visual weight. There are many ways to do this. And the great thing, this is where your creativity comes in. You could use a shallow depth of field, using a wide aperture to throw the background into a soft blur to put your character in sharp focus. It's a clear, direct instruction to the viewer. Look at this. It isolates the character and it elevates their importance. Curate the composition. You can place a tiny character in a vast empty space to tell a story of solitude or freedom. Like this juvenile iguana. The character isn't just the iguana, it's the relationship with the landscape and the unknown. The scary world he's just starting to embrace. And then there's light. Our eyes instinctively go to the brightest part of an image. You can use a slither of morning sun to light up your character, making them pop from the shadows. Or you can use backlighting to create a silhouette, or here where the interplay of light and shadow almost does both, and it creates a mysterious feel. Let's take this more abstract image from Italy. A man's foot simply holding a door ajar. The man's foot is the character here. Why? Because it elicits curiosity, and it makes us ask poignant questions. Who is the man? Why is he holding the door open? What is he looking at? Or perhaps, why is he trying to hide? We're no longer looking at a man's foot. We're tapping into his story. This mere abstracted foot is a character. So when you're shooting, ask yourself, who or what is the hero of this frame? And how can I use my tools to make everyone else see them the way I do? A character just existing is a portrait, and that's great, but we're searching for story. And a story starts when something is happening. It needs an engine. Writers call this their plot, but I think what Why the Story cleverly points out is even more important. The plot isn't what the story is about. The story is about how the plot affects the character. In a photo, we need to capture a moment of tension, transition, or change that affects the character. This is what engages the viewers, and this is what creates questions in their mind. Conflict in a photo isn't about a fight, it's about a dynamic opposition of forces. It's the before and after that you can feel in a single moment. It's about change, or the potential for it. Putting two contrasting ideas side by side in your frame creates instant tension. Think about old versus new. The ancient art of Tai Chi performed in front of a modern skyscraper background. Or perhaps broken versus perfect. Broken glass of a window frame, framing the perfect icon of a London reborn. Serious versus silly? Two Highland cows with seemingly juxtaposing expressions in a single frame. Another way is to capture what the great photographer Henri Cartier-Bresson called the decisive moment. That is the peak of an action, the split second where the story is just brimming with meaning. It's not the moment a car is driving along a track. It's the moment they dip their tire into muddy water, a perfect arc of tension. You can also imply change through simple gesture and expression. A person looking out a window is just a photo, but shows sand running through their hands, a melancholic expression on their face, and the story changes completely. Now it's about loss, time running out. A photo of a tribal kid is one thing, but a photo where they are closing themselves off, shielding their bodies, that tells a story of leaving childhood innocence behind, leaving tribal traditions behind, as a modern world engulfs them. These subtle cues are the engine. They tell us that things aren't static, they're in motion. Think of a pair of boisterous stallions. A snapshot might be them standing in the desert heat. A story shows them mid-fight, jaws wide and snapping, muscles tight, sand splaying this way and that. The The conflict is right there. The horse's virility on display, on trial against another. The photo isn't just about horses, it's about struggle and survival. Your photograph should feel like a single pivotal sentence ripped from a much larger chapter. It should make the viewer wonder, what's the next sentence? Look, if you're finding this video helpful, a quick like is really appreciated, and it really does help. It lets the almighty YouTube algorithm know we're doing something right. Okay, so you have a character and you have a conflict. You've got the start of the story. But for it to have real emotional weight, it needs a world to exist in. This is the context. Context is the setting, the environment, and it's shaped by your two most powerful tools, composition and light. This is where you, the artist, set the mood and guide the viewer's emotional response. Think of composition as the grammar of your visual language. The rules aren't rules. They're just time-tested ways of arranging things to create a specific feeling. A road, a fence, a river, these can act as visual pathways pulling the viewer's eye right towards your character, or the heart of the action. A winding road doesn't just add depth, it tells a story of a journey. Using things in the scene, a doorway, a window, overhanging branches, to create a frame around your subject, it does more than just look good. It can create a sense of intimacy, like we're peeking into the private world. Or it can create a feeling of confinement or safety. The empty area around your character is just as important as the character itself. A huge empty darkness around this small island of ice hints at the impacts of climate change. The space gives the story room to breathe. It makes the viewers ask questions. And whilst composition provides the structure, light provides the emotion. Light is the single most powerful tool for setting the mood. The exact same scene with different light will tell a completely different story. That hour after sunrise and before sunset, it bathes everything in this warm, soft glow. This light just feels like nostalgia, peace, and warmth. It's the light of good memories. Direct overhead sun creates deep, hard-edged shadows. This light can feel intense, dramatic, even uncomfortable. It's perfect for stories of struggle or stark reality. It shows every flaw. When light comes from the side, it rakes across your subject and reveals every little bit of texture. This is the light that carves out mountains and brings sand dunes to life. On a face, it can create drama and mystery, leaving one side in shadow. Putting your character between you and the light creates this bright rim around them. It can feel magical, dreamlike, and ethereal. It's how you get those classic silhouettes, which turn a specific person into a universal idea. Let's go back to our fighting stallions. We have our character, the stallion staring into the camera, and our conflict, their fight. Now look at the wider context. The rest of the herd watch on in the background. The desert landscape and the towering mountains surround this isolated herd and their fight for supremacy. The golden hour light falling all around. The story takes on something more than a fight for rural survival. There is something beautiful and poignant in it at the same time. The light aids this. In a harsh midday light, the story would feel too harsh. It would lose its poetic feel. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What's a single image that has told a powerful story to you? Let us know in the comments below. The narrative triangle, character, conflict, context, is a simple framework to keep in your mind as you shoot, but there's one last, invisible element that holds it all together. You, your intention, your point of view. Photography isn't passive. You're not just a human tripod recording reality. You are an interpreter. Out of everything happening in the world, you chose one little rectangle to isolate. You chose what to put in it. And just as importantly, and I really mean this, what to leave out. Why that moment? Why that angle? The answer to those questions is your voice. It's the sum of your experiences, your curiosities, and your emotions. This is why 10 photographers can stand in the exact same spot and make 10 totally different images. One sees a story of resilience, another sees environmental decay, and a third sees fleeting beauty. None of them are wrong. They're just telling the story that's true to them. For so long, I went through photo shoots thinking, what's the shot here? Thinking there was a right way to do it. There was a wrong way to do it. But I was wrong. There is no perfect shot. There are only perfect shots. It's how you see the world, what story you bring into that world. Embracing this is so liberating, especially when everyone's obsessed with technical perfection. It's not about having the fanciest camera, it's about having a point of view. It's about capturing real emotion. Don't be afraid to shoot the quiet moments, the in-between moments, the failures. Recently I was looking through the winners of the Wildlife Photographer of the Year. I think this shot sums up this idea best. How many of us would have culled this shot from our digital library because we missed it? Well, it was a winner in one of the most prestigious photo competitions out there. And for me, that says it all. A great narrative photo doesn't give all the details away. It invites questions. You give the viewer just enough, a character, an implied action, a mood, to get a story started. And then you let their own imagination fill in the rest. That's how a real connection's formed. Remember, storytelling with your camera isn't about perfection. It's about intention and emotion. It's a skill. And just like any other, it gets better the more you do it. So the next time you pick up your camera, try to look past the pretty scene. Look for the narrative triangle. Find your character, the heart of your story. Find the conflict, the engine that drives it forward. And build the context. Curate that world and that mood around it. This will change the way you see your camera. It's no longer a device for making pictures. It becomes a tool for asking questions and for telling unforgettable stories. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. And you know what? See you on the next horizon. If you want to make images with more impact, I'm building something for photographers that will change the way you think behind the camera. There's a link in the description. And if you want to see my adventures in search of photography, I recommend this video.